Ever stood in a gift shop holding something you know the recipient will never use, yet you swipe your card anyway? Don't pretend you haven't. Yeah, I'm talking to you. That feeling, that invisible pressure during holidays, birthdays, or anniversaries. You aren't buying a gift because you want to. You're buying it because you're scared. Scared of being judged, scared of looking cheap, or worse, scared of breaking some unspoken rule you don't even understand. Strange, right? When someone gives you a gift instead of pure joy, do you feel an itch? You start calculating the price. You start wondering what you need to give back so you don't look like a freeloader. Congratulations. You just fell into the oldest psychological trap in human history. We like to believe gift-giving is pure kindness. But is it? Maybe it has nothing to do with kindness at all. Is this kindness, or is it an ancient survival algorithm controlling your wallet? Don't shake your head. It is you. We think we are rational beings making decisions based on logic. But your brain is running a script written tens of thousands of years ago. Back when a piece of rotten meat could decide if you survived the winter or became dinner for a saber-toothed tiger. Not that kind of fairy tale kindness. What we are talking about here is a social insurance policy. Sounds cold? Maybe a bit dirty? Stay calm. We are going to peel back the shiny wrapping paper to see the raw core inside. You think you give gifts to make others happy? Maybe. But deep down, you are investing. You are buying peace of mind. You are building a safety net so that when trouble hits, someone will reach out a hand. That is it. Don't deny it. Have you ever given a gift to someone you absolutely hate just for the sake of politeness? Why do that if it is pure kindness? It is that algorithm again. It forces you to maintain connections, even fake ones. Don't be surprised. We are all puppets in the hands of evolution. Now, let me take you back in time. Back to when every gift was a matter of life and death. Are you ready? Don't answer. I know you are dying to see how this algorithm works. Meet Grom. Grom is your typical prehistoric guy. No fridge, no food delivery apps, and definitely no concept of an expiration date. One afternoon, Grom gets lucky and bags a massive deer. A glorious victory, right? Sure, but there is a small problem. Grom only has one stomach. And this deer is the size of his entire tribe combined. If Grom tries to eat all that meat alone, he will burst before digesting a tenth of it. If he leaves it, in a few hours under the harsh sun, that pile of meat becomes a buffet for flies and bacteria. Exactly. The meat rots, and Grom is still hungry tomorrow. This is the evolution's eureka moment. Grom realizes a simple truth. Fresh meat today is worthless if he starves tomorrow. But if he shares that meat with others in the tribe, what happens? He doesn't just solve the storage problem. Other people's stomachs are the safest fridges around. He also creates an invisible power. This is social credit. Every piece of meat Grom hands out is not charity. It is an investment. When he gives his neighbor a chunk of meat, he is not expecting a thank you. He is sending a message. Hey, I have extra today, so I am sharing. Tomorrow, if I fail at hunting, you know what to do. This is the birth of gift giving. It is not about the object. It is a primitive form of currency. You don't store value in a bank. You store it in the trust of others. Strange, right? Grom just turned a pile of rotting meat into a social safety net. If he hoards the meat, he is selfish and gets isolated by the tribe. If he shares, he becomes a smart investor. Gift-giving back then was the only way to overcome human limitations. Grom isn't just giving meat. He is giving survival. He is building a network where every gift is a tether. If you cut that tether, you fall into the abyss of loneliness. And believe me, in Grom's time, loneliness meant becoming dessert for a predator. So, next time you give a gift, remember Grom. He didn't give gifts because he was a generous angel. He gave gifts because he wanted to ensure that when he was sick or failed, someone would remember that meat and reach out a hand. It is a sophisticated survival algorithm hard-coded into your DNA. And that algorithm, even after tens of thousands of years, is still running in your head every time you walk into a gift shop. Don't pretend you don't see it. All right, let's get serious. If you think free gifts are a real thing, I have a bridge in the middle of the desert to sell you. An anthropologist named Marcel Mauss spent his whole life studying this. He reached a conclusion that breaks the hearts of romantics. Gift giving is never free. Never. It always comes with invisible handcuffs. Mauss's rule is simple but brutal. Receive, repay, reciprocate. These 3 steps form a closed loop you cannot escape if you want to save face. Imagine you get a gift from a friend. The second you touch that gift, a click goes off in your brain. That is the sound of obligation. You are no longer a free individual. You are a debtor. You have to pay it back. You have to return something of equal or greater value. If you return something cheaper, you are stingy. If you don't return anything, you are ungrateful. And if you return a gift immediately, congratulations. You just turned a friendship into a cold commercial transaction. Exactly. Don't pretend you haven't felt this. You receive a box of cookies for the holidays, and for the next month, you are anxious. You think, oh no, what do I get them back? What is worth the same value? That is not kindness. That is a material arms race. You aren't giving a gift because you love them. You are giving it to free yourself from the pressure of a debt of gratitude. It is like trying to pay off a bank loan. The only difference is that the interest here is paid in respect and social status. But wait, this loop is even weirder. In some ancient cultures, refusing a gift was considered a declaration of war. Why? Because when you refuse, you are refusing to join the alliance network. You are telling the other person, I don't need you and I don't want to owe you anything. That is a serious insult. So no matter how ugly the gift is, no matter if it is an itchy sweater or a useless kitchen gadget, you still have to smile, take it, and thank them as if it were the best gift in the world. Seriously. We are excellent actors in the play of gift giving. We play the part of the happy recipient while our brains calculate how much the gift is worth and how to reciprocate without losing face. It is a highly efficient social algorithm for maintaining bonds, but it is also exhausting. Have you ever wondered if we would still give gifts if we ignored all these rules? Probably not. Or at least, we wouldn't give them the way we do now. But hey, don't think too much. This receive, repay, reciprocate loop is already in your blood. You can't stop it. That is it. So, why do we keep doing this? Why stress over gifts for people we barely talk to? It comes down to a number, the Dunbar number. Your brain is wired to maintain stable relationships with only about 150 people. That is your social circle, your tribe, your survival network. Every gift you give is a ping in that network. It is a way of saying, hey, I am still here, I am still part of the group, don't forget me when the winter comes. Think of it like a social maintenance app. If you don't send a ping, the connection fades. If the connection fades, you lose your safety net. That is why you buy that overpriced candle for your coworker. It is not about the candle. It is about keeping a seat at the table. You are paying a subscription fee for social relevance. It is cold, it is calculated, and it is entirely subconscious. But here is the kicker. As our world gets bigger, our tribe gets harder to manage. We are no longer dealing with a small group in a cave. We are dealing with hundreds of acquaintances, distant relatives, and colleagues. The algorithm is struggling. It is trying to apply a prehistoric survival strategy to a modern digital world. That is why you feel overwhelmed. You are trying to maintain 150 relationships with the same intensity that Grom used to maintain his 5 best hunters. It is a recipe for burnout. We are over-gifting, over-obligating, and overthinking every single interaction. We are trying to buy security in a world where security is no longer about sharing meat. It is about likes, shares, and status. But deep down, the primitive part of your brain doesn't know that. It still thinks that if you don't give that gift, you are going to be left out in the cold. So you keep swiping that card. You keep playing the game. You keep the algorithm running. Because the alternative is something your DNA is terrified of. Total isolation. So next time you feel that pressure, just breathe. Recognize the game for what it is. It is not about the gift, it is about the wiring. You are just a human being trying to survive in a world that has changed way faster than your brain ever could. And that is okay. Just don't let the algorithm run your life entirely. Unless, of course, you really want that scented candle. Then, by all means, buy it. Just don't call it kindness. Call it what it is: social maintenance. Wait, there is something absurd about this algorithm you probably haven't noticed. Look at the gifts we give: flowers, jewelry, expensive trinkets with zero practical use. If gift-giving was just about survival like in Grom's day, why not give rice, salt, or a sack of potatoes? Why a seashell necklace? The answer lies in a fancy concept: signaling surplus. In nature, if you give someone meat, you are giving them energy. That is survival. But if you give them something useless, like a shiny gemstone or a bouquet of flowers, you are sending a much stronger message. You are saying, I have so much energy that I can waste time and resources on this, and I am still doing just fine. That is how you flex your status. You are telling the tribe, look, I am so strong I don't need to worry about food. I can play with frivolous things. Strange, right? But this signal is a double-edged sword. If you give a surplus gift that isn't high-class enough, or if it is just plain ugly, you get unfriended by the tribe immediately. Imagine Grom picks up a dirty rock, cleans it off, and gives it to the tribe leader as jewelry. What happens? He didn't signal surplus, he just signaled a total lack of taste. And in the prehistoric world, a lack of taste was seen as a lack of intelligence. And the unintelligent don't deserve to be in the alliance. This is why we spend a fortune on luxury gifts during the holidays. We aren't buying the gift. We are buying the status signal. We want the recipient and everyone watching to think, wow, this person can afford this excess. It is a psychological game full of vanity. The less useful the gift, the higher you prove you are on the food chain. Seriously, we evolved from sharing meat to survive to giving useless things to assert ourselves. Don't laugh. You do this every day. When you buy an expensive handbag as a gift, you aren't just giving a bag. You are giving a message about surplus. You are saying, I am wealthy, I am safe, and I am a reliable partner. That is how we operate, whether you want to admit it or not. But wait, we aren't done. There is another side to rejecting gifts that you will definitely find familiar. Ever been in this situation? You offer someone a gift, they refuse, and you feel like you've been slapped in the face? You don't just feel embarrassed, you feel insulted. Why? Because in the social algorithm we've been running since the Stone Age, refusing a gift isn't just saying no. It's an act of declaring the alliance over. When Grom refuses the leader's meat, he isn't just turning down food. He is telling the whole tribe, I don't need your protection, I don't need this alliance, and I am ready to stand alone. Strange, right? In Grom's world, isolation is a death sentence. So refusing a gift became a taboo. It's like declining a friend request on Facebook, but in a real-life, much more brutal version. When you refuse a gift, you break the balance of social credit. You make the other person feel insecure because they can't buy your loyalty. And because they are insecure, they become hostile. That is why, even if you hate that gift to your core, you still take it with both hands. Don't pretend you haven't been there. You try to refuse an expensive gift because you feel awkward, but the other person insists. Just take it, don't embarrass me, they say, and you, not wanting to cause a scene, take it anyway. That isn't kindness, that is social coercion. We are trapped in a web of obligations where receiving a gift is a burden, but refusing it is a diplomatic disaster. We are terrified of being seen as arrogant, a traitor, or just plain rude. The psychology of refusal is really just the fear of being kicked out of the group. Since prehistoric times, humans have been pack animals. If you don't belong to a group, you die. The gift is the rope that ties you to that group. When you accept a gift, you are signing an invisible insurance contract. I am a member of the group. I accept the rules, and I won't betray you. When you refuse, you are tearing up that contract. So next time someone forces a gift on you that you don't want, remember they aren't just giving you an object. They are forcing you to pledge your loyalty. Seriously, we are slaves to these connections. We give gifts to keep people close, and we accept them to keep our spot in the pack. It is a game where everyone knows the rules, but no one dares to break them. You can call it kindness, but I call it survival. That is it. Time to show our cards. We have talked about Grom, rotting meat, seashell necklaces, and suffocating social rules. Now, look at yourself. You think you give gifts because you are kind or generous? Wake up. A gift is actually an invisible insurance policy you are silently buying for yourself. You don't give gifts to make others happy. You give them to ensure that when your life hits a storm, when you are down on your luck, someone, the person who took your gift, feels obligated to stand by your side. Strange, right? We don't give gifts to bring joy. We give them to buy peace of mind for our own future. It is an investment in trust. You are building a safety net, an insurance web where every gift is a link. When you give a gift, you are sending a signal. I am capable, I am reliable, and I know the rules of the game. You are buying the guarantee that when you need a favor, when you need help, the other person cannot refuse because they already owe you from those past gifts. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying you are a bad person. This isn't selfishness, this is evolution. Your brain is designed to optimize survival in a world full of risks. Gift giving is a smart strategy to turn people around you into allies. You never have to face trouble alone if you have invested enough in your social network. The gift you give today is your insurance policy for tomorrow. That is why we feel the pressure to give gifts during the holidays. It is when we pay our periodic insurance premiums to maintain that alliance network. Seriously. Ever wonder why we give gifts to people we aren't even close to, just for the sake of socializing? It is because we are expanding that insurance network. We want as many people to owe us as possible. It is a highly sophisticated survival algorithm. You don't give gifts to make others happy. You give them to ensure you are never alone. And that feeling of being in debt when you receive a gift? That is just your brain's warning system, reminding you that you just signed a new insurance contract. That is it. By now, you might feel a bit let down. You expected a lecture on selfless altruism and unconditional love, but you got an analysis of insurance policies and survival algorithms. But listen, understanding the raw nature of gift giving doesn't make the gift less meaningful. On the contrary, it makes it more human than ever. We aren't cold machines. We are social creatures trying to find ways to connect in a world full of uncertainty. When you understand that a gift is an investment in trust, you will appreciate the connection it creates even more. Every gift is not just material. It is a commitment. It says, I want you to be part of my safety net, and I want to be part of yours. That is bonding. That is how humanity has survived and thrived from small tribes on the savannah to the complex modern societies we have today. We don't give gifts just to make others happy. We give them to say we belong to each other. So, next time you hold a gift, don't stress over its price or the anxiety of reciprocating. See it as an invisible thread you are weaving. The gift you give is not just an object. It is an investment in trust to ensure that, no matter how hard life gets, you never have to face it alone. We give gifts because we need each other. We give gifts because we fear loneliness. And that is the most human thing we have ever created. Don't forget, every time you give a gift, you are sending a message. I am here, and I hope you will be there when I need you. It is a beautiful pact. It is an algorithm of friendship, and it is an inseparable part of our DNA. So, keep giving gifts, keep buying that peace of mind, and keep believing in those connections, because in the end, after all the calculations and algorithms, the only thing that keeps us together is sharing. That's it.